Hello, everyone. Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Thank you, as always, for listening to our content. But for more in-depth coverage on the Indiana Hoosiers football, basketball, and recruiting news, go to thehoosier.com on 3. Now with On 3 and great national writers like Ari Wasserman, Andy Staples, and Steve Wiltfong for football, Pete Nakos, J.B. Shaw, and Joe Tipton's constantly breaking stories on the basketball side. And the local coverage from Alec Lasley, Kyler Staley, and Zach Browning. You can catch something new every day at thehoosier.com. Go there. Sign up today.
Welcome to Indiana Sports Beat Radio, brought to you by the Hard Truth Distilling Company in Brown County, Indiana.
So for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world,
pretty simple. I win. Google me.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
Oh. Now, from the Hard Truth Studios, here's Jim Coyle.
Welcome back to the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios on this Thursday, and a visit from your favorite and mine, Bob Kravitz. How are you, sir?
I am splendid. How are you? It's golf weather, baby.
Boy, is it. I thought it was going to rain today, and I was so jealous yesterday. I was looking out going, as bad as I am, I still like to get out as much as possible just to play 9 holes, just to try to get the mind off of everything that rages during the day. But all I do is go out and rage on the golf course over my horrible golf game. I don't know how healthy that is.
Yeah, I understand. You want to relax, and all you're doing is screaming at yourself.
It's nonstop. It's like, man, I might as well get married again or something. And just, no, just kidding. Only joking.
Of course you were.
Lots going on, man. Indy, the cars have hit the track yesterday, back out there today. So we got the entire month of May in front of us, the Kentucky Derby a week from Saturday. We've got the transfer portals going crazy on both basketball and football. We've got the House settlement now delayed by a federal judge. Let's see, what else can we squeeze into that?
Maybe the Pacers.
Oh, yeah, forgot about the Pacers and the Colts. The NFL draft coming upon us tonight. So what do the Colts do? Let's just go there.
Yeah.
Man, they're not in a pickle, but this Anthony Richardson thing has just continued to me, it's caused the Colts to continue to circle the drain.
Oh, there's no question. It's a make or break year for Anthony Richardson. It's a make or break year, in my view, for Chris Ballard and maybe for Shane Steichen. This kid's got their jobs in his hands. They desperately need him to win the quarterback derby. If you go with Daniel Jones, you know what you got. He's the guy who's won 22 out of 60 games as a pro through 6 years. You got average. But with Anthony, you don't completely know yet. He's had a good offseason. He hasn't had to rehab as he has had to the previous off seasons. So he's been able to concentrate on throwing and mechanics. And we'll see what he looks like. I mean, they have some confidence, but not enough that they didn't go out and get Daniel Jones just in case it doesn't work out. So it's going to be a fascinating couple of months here in Colts world.
Fascinating to say the least, because obviously in the NFL, you have to have a quarterback. I
Oh,
mean,
of
the
course.
quarterback, it begins and ends. So different with any other Major League Baseball. Yeah, you need pitching, but you can get around one guy not being elite or whatever. NBA,
Right.
you've got different positions that you can rely on different guys. NFL, no, you have to have a solid quarterback. It doesn't mean he has to be solid at, elite at everything, but he has to be solid, a good decision maker, have the ability to make the throws, make the decisions, and not cause turnovers.
He's got to make the layups. I mean, we know he can throw a 60-yard bomb off his back foot. We saw that against the Houston Texans early in the year. But we don't know if he can make the layups. We don't know if he can hit that 8-yard out or that 10-yard hook. You know, he's just so wildly inconsistent, and that's why it was so important that they worked on the technical aspects of his throwing, because he's a loose cannon. I mean, he's got a great elite arm. He just doesn't know where the hell it's going most of the time. And hopefully they've refined that, and he'll be a better quarterback this year. He better be, or this team's going to go 6-11, and it's going to be ugly, and a lot of people are going to lose their jobs.
Yeah, a lot, and that again would just keep the Colts circling the drain.
Yes,
because that's all that they've done basically for the last multiple years. It's kind of, I hate to say it, but it reminds you of Indiana basketball. They have just circled the drain for 8 years, no reason other than bad administrative decisions.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of things in sports come down to, and they trickle down, and people don't always see. Now, in some of these cases they do, but a lot of times you don't see it because it's a trickle down effect. That it's a decision that up here that trickles down that prevents the product from being what it could be, should be, and needs to be. And that has been the case with the Colts. And they've got to get back on the clock. Jim Irsay seems like he has kind of stepped back a little bit as far as being Jim Irsay. I don't know if that's good or bad.
No, I think that's good. I think you know, when Jim gets involved, weird things happen. Like Jeff Saturday gets hired, or Matt Ryan gets benched for Sam frickin' Ellinger. No, it's good that he's not as involved as he has been in the recent past. But yeah, I mean, I think in this first round, I think it's so obvious what they're going to do that I would be completely shocked if they didn't grab one of the two tight ends. You know, I think they should move up and get Tyler Warren from Penn State. But failing that, I think Colston Loveland from Michigan is a hell of an alternative.
Yeah, we'll certainly see, because those are some of the holes that has been talked about needing to fill. Indiana football, on the other hand, also a team that had some spots that they needed to fill. And unlike instead of the draft, you have the portal, which can be easier and better because you don't have to worry about, well, I guess you do have to worry about another team. So it's kind of similar, but Indiana going out, getting the pieces they needed on defense right now. They lost C.J. West, who might hear his name tonight in the NFL draft off of the defensive line, replaced him with a former teammate from Kent State. They just got another commitment from a former linebacker who will probably play down on the line, which I'm like, ooh, that just sounds tasty to have a down lineman that was a linebacker. Holy crap.
Right, good speed.
And so then, and other than that, they already have 3 All-Americans anchoring that defense, one on the line in Mikael Kamara. Then you've got Aiden Fisher at linebacker and Angelo Pons in the defensive backfield.
Yeah.
Defensively, I think they're going to be as good as they were last season. We'll see.
Yeah,
but
the schedule is a little more challenging, it seems to me, but
again, it has still worked out though. Last year, it was set up to be so perfect. It went from 0 to the end, and it was just a steady climb in the challenge. This year, it picks up very much quicker, but they've got that year under their belt. Signetti does. He's got his team in Bloomington, and most of them back, filled in some holes. They should be able to pick right up where they left off. I spoke with Rick Bozich yesterday. Offensively, there's no drop off. And
no, this quarterback I hear is really good.
He is every bit as good as Curtis Rourke. Curtis Rourke was a great decision maker, played and tougher than nails, obviously, played with all the injuries that he played with, but that left him not as mobile. And that's something that Fernando Mendoza has, mobility, which adds some wrinkles to the offense, which is good. And they have filled in some spots on the offensive line where they were getting dinged and needed to improve. So they've done that. Man, Indiana football fans, you should be excited. I think that I know you're going to have a hell of a fun season. And just how well can Indiana do? That'll be the question mark, what they do on the road.
Yeah, on the road, absolutely. No, Signetti's got this thing rolling. He's got this thing rolling. I wondered how it would look in the second year and the third year and beyond after he got all his kids from his old school. But he hasn't missed a beat. He's done well in the portal. Again, as we mentioned with the Colts, if you have the quarterback, you're 80% of the way there, and clearly they have the quarterback.
I don't recall a more seamless move that like Curt Cignetti made. Everywhere he's been, the moves have all been seamless. Now, but prior to, they were all at a lower level. But then when he made the major jump to the Big Ten, even it was to Indiana, it was still to the Big Ten. It was a very, very seamless move. He brought a lot of the players from James Madison, but others from elsewhere. But not only made it happen.
Oh, it's unbelievable.
And now he gets to hit the ground running in this second season.
Absolutely. And I've just been very impressed. He hasn't had any missteps, and he's the real deal for sure. I'm not really sure what to say about that, but yeah, I think they're going to be really good. Whether they'll be good enough to go to the the playoff.
Got to go one. I think you have to go 1 and 2 in those what I call the three, the triple crown of road games that they have.
Right.
You went at Iowa, at Oregon, or at Penn State, and you win everything else. You're good. 10 and 2 will get them back in the CFP with a win over one of those teams. I'm calling it right now.
Okay. I trust your judgment on all things Indiana football.
I don't, but good for you. The Pacers. We're last couple minutes. Pacers 2-0 lead in their first round series, which not a shock, but it's good to see. It solidifies what they're trying to get done. Now they have to go to Milwaukee, and that'll be a little tougher. And Damian Lillard probably getting a little healthier, but they can. This is something they can still win in 5 games, but it would be nice probably for them to do that and get some more rest.
Yeah. Well. Honestly, I picked the Pacers in 7. I think even though the Pacers had their way with Milwaukee, it's the old saw that, a playoff series doesn't begin until the road team wins. And it would not shock me if this thing still went 6 or 7. But I do not see the Milwaukee Bucks beating the Pacers 4 games out of 5 to go down the stretch here, this playoff series. And really, the Pacers, it's been beautiful the way they've done it. I mean, they've played good, solid defense. They've kept Antetokounmpo under something of control. Lillard played 37 minutes the other day, which just blew me away because he hasn't played since March 18th. And he didn't look bad. His shot wasn't very good, but you got to figure back in Milwaukee he'll be a little more impactful. And, role players tend to play much better at home. So it would not shock me if we come back here for a game 5 tied at 2-2.
Well, we'll certainly see that. And Indiana basketball also looking to fill some holes as Darren DeVries is still filling his first staff, his first roster, quietly under the radar. But man, oh man, they will be guard rich next season.
And shooter rich.
Well, and that's the more apropos statement, to be honest with you, because the guy that they have coming in that's in for a visit now or yesterday, whenever it actually is, Nick Dorn from Elon, he's 6'7". They list him as a guard, but he's 6'7". Okay, so he's a 2, he's a 3. I mean, but I think I've said this. You're going to see every player basically be a multi-position player on that squad.
Right. And that's the way it is now. Look, I have not seen these guys who are coming in, but, the word on the street is they can all shoot the ball. And wouldn't that be a nice change of pace for Indiana fans to see kids who can shoot from beyond from the perimeter?
Been close to a decade, brother. Been close to a decade. What is up next for you?
Well, I got the draft tonight. Got the Pacers game 3 tomorrow night. So I'm actually writing with some frequency these days because there's a lot of good stuff going on.
Yes, there is. Make sure you're going to bobkravitz.com to keep up with it all. Look forward to seeing you soon, brother. We've got to get together on the golf course.
Sounds good.
Bob Kravitz from bobkravitz.com joining us. Make sure you stay tuned from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios. Up next, Steve Wiltfong, On3's Vice President of Recruiting in the Transfer Portal. Lots to unpack there. Back with plenty more from the Hard Truth Distilling Company studios. Hello, everyone. Jim Coyle with Indiana Sports Beat Radio. Thank you, as always, for listening to our content. But for more in-depth coverage on the Indiana Hoosiers football, basketball, and recruiting news, go to thehoosier.com on 3. Now with On 3 and great national writers like Ari Wasserman, Andy Staples, and Steve Wiltfong for football. Pete Nakos, J.B. Shaw, and Joe Tipton's constantly breaking stories on the basketball side. And the local coverage from Alec Lasley, Kyler Staley, and Zach Browning. You can catch something new every day at thehoosier.com. Go there. Sign up today.